Okay, guys, so now we'll go to the listening exercise here. Okay, listening and speaking. Look at these two people. Okay, where are they? They're on the street. Okay, this woman is asking the man some questions, and it's like a researcher is interviewing Robert for this year's British free time survey. She asks people in the street about their free time, what they do in their free time for British people, okay? So listen and fill in the form. So the woman asking a man about free time activities, like how often they do things, okay? And here, free time survey, activity and how often, like here you write always, sometimes, every week, twice a day. So go to bar or pub. What's the difference between a bar and a pub? Bar, you go and drink alcohol. Pub, you go drink alcohol and drink and eat snacks like pizza or toast. Okay, you eat and drink. Go to the theater, go to museums or art galleries, watch TV, do sport, go on holiday. Okay, guys, so now you're gonna listen, okay, and write how often.
Track 8.
Excuse me, we're doing a survey on the free time habits of British people. Can I ask you a few questions?
Sure.
Thanks very much. Right, first question. How often do you go to a bar or a pub?
Oh, probably about once a week. I sometimes meet friends in the pub after work.
And do you ever go to the theatre?
Yes, I do. Quite a lot, actually.
Okay. How often do you go?
About once a month. A lot of my friends are actors, and I always go to see them when they're in something new.
And how often do you go to museums and art galleries?
Sorry. I never go to museums or art galleries. I don't really have time.
Okay, no problem. Right, the next question. How much TV do you watch a day on average?
Let me think. Well, I watch a lot of football, so probably I'd say about 3 hours a day.
That's about 21 hours a week.
Yes, that sounds about right.
Okay. And do you do any sport?
Yes, I go running.
And how often do you do that?
About 3 or 4 times a week.
Right. And what about holidays? How often do you go on holiday?
I normally have 2 holidays a year, one in the summer and one in January.
And where do you usually go?
In the summer, I usually stay in the UK, and in the winter, I usually go somewhere hot, like Africa or India.
Okay. And how often do you...
Okay, guys, so if you need to listen again, no problem, listen again, okay? But now I will give you the answers. So go to a bar or a pub once a week. Go to the theater once a month. Go to museums or art galleries, never. Watch TV about 3 hours a day, 21 hours a week. Do sport 3 or 4 times a week, okay? Running, go on holiday twice a year. That's it. Okay, guys, so now we will move to sentence stress. What's sentence stress? We talked about it before in elementary. Sentence stress, we use it even in Arabic. If you want for people to understand special or specific words in your speaking, you stress. And you can listen to this in the news, okay? We say, for example, 30 people were killed yesterday, okay? So they tell you exactly the number. So don't think it's like 50 or 60, 30, and 30 what? 30 people. What happened? Killed. So this is the same thing. You stress the words that has the important meaning, okay? The word that has the important meaning. Here we're doing a survey, okay, on the free time habits. For example, let's do an example. For example, let's delete a Let's delete on the. Let's delete off. Okay. If I see a person in the street and I say, we're doing survey, free time habits, British people. Do you understand? It's clear here. Okay. The other words, they are not important. If you heard them, if you didn't hear them, no problem. Okay. So that's it. You just put stress on the words that can change the meaning. Okay. Here, for example, say ask few questions. If I delete it, let's say if I deleted all this, like here you will use the body language and the tone. You say, for example, here, ask few questions. We're doing survey, free time habits, British people. Ask few questions. So by my tone, people know that, okay, I want to ask them questions. Okay, let's see here. I ask, how often go bar, pub? Okay, now when you listen to me, you understand, because when you start learning a language, you use the same thing. You don't use grammar. You use only words and body language and your tone. Okay, like when you ask someone, for example, maybe you are working in an office and you want to go and bring some coffee. So you talk to your friend, you say, coffee? What does coffee mean? You say, would you like me to bring you some coffee? Okay, so you didn't say anything, only say coffee. Okay, because it's the important word here. So that's it. If you want people to listen to your important words, you put stress. That's it. Okay, so now we will go to let's just play the recording.
Track 8.
Then here we say go to page 153, number 8. Listen and notice the stress. Let's go together. Number 8. Here it is, yeah. Okay, so we will listen, guys, and notice how they stress. And it will be good for you to listen, read, and practice, okay?
Track 8.
Excuse me, we're doing a survey on the free time habits of British people. Can I ask you a few questions?
Sure.
Thanks very much. Right, first question. How often do you go to a bar or a pub?
Oh, probably about once a week. I sometimes meet friends in the pub after work.
And do you ever go to the theatre?
Yes, I do. Quite a lot, actually.
Okay. How often do you go?
About once a month. A lot of my friends are actors, and I always go to see them when they're in something new.
And how often do you go to museums and art galleries?
Sorry. I never go to museums or art galleries. I don't really have time.
Okay, no problem. Right, the next question. How much TV do you watch a day on average?
Let me think. Well, I watch a lot of football, so probably I'd say about 3 hours a day.
That's about 21 hours a week.
Yes, that sounds about right.
Okay. And do you do any sport?
Yes, I go running.
And how often do you do that?
About 3 or 4 times a week.
Right. And what about holidays? How often do you go on holiday?
I normally have 2 holidays a year, one in the summer and one in January.
And where do you usually go?
In the summer, I usually stay in the UK, and in the winter, I usually go somewhere hot, like Africa or India.
Okay. And how often do you...
Okay, guys, if you feel that you want to listen again, it will be good for you to listen and read, practice again and again and again. The more you listen, the better. Okay, so Okay, so now we say you should write a survey, for example, of like, let's say 6 or 7 questions to ask about free time for people. It's good to practice writing questions like, how often do you watch sport? For example, I talk about myself and I want to see if people do the same thing I do or no. Okay. For example, let's say, how often do you eat an apple in the morning? How often do you eat salads? How often do you go to the gym? How often do you read books? How often do you visit your family? How often do you watch movies? Okay, so all of these things you ask. Okay, if you write down in the comments, okay, so I will check your questions because it's really important to practice the questions. And guys, here we finished this lesson, but I'm gonna talk to you directly. Write questions and down in the comment, for example, let's say Ahmed wrote in the comment 5 questions about how often, okay? If you see Ahmed's comment, okay, take Ahmed's comment and answer, reply to Ahmed, answer his questions. For example, say, hi, I am Hanan, and talk about yourself a little bit at the beginning. I am Hanan, I am 20 years old, I live in this country, and answer the questions. How often do you wake up early? I sometimes wake up early if I, for example, have school or so. Answer, make it as a place to practice. If you don't do this, okay, if you don't write questions and another one doesn't, for example, answer questions, you don't have someone to work with. I want you to have a group here in the comments so we can practice the language together. If I see that all my students like asking and answering, and they talk to each other, okay, I can open even a speaking class online and I will invite you for free, guys. Okay, so I want everyone to learn and be better in English. Okay, but please do what I tell you to do. Okay, and we finish this lesson. Okay, and if you like the lesson, put like, share it with anyone who likes to learn, and consider it is something good for God, guys. Okay, jazakumullah khair. Thank you. I will see you next lesson, inshallah. Goodbye.